2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday the 21st of February and it's Sticky Bun Day. And a big happy birthday to Sophie Turner, Jordan Peele, Elliot Page and Vanessa Feltz. The Queen really didn't have a great week last week. It finished on Sunday with her testing positive for COVID-19, just 2 weeks after celebrating her Platinum Jubilee and following both Prince Charles and Camilla reporting positive tests. Buckingham Palace says she's experiencing mild cold-like symptoms and is expected to continue light duties at Windsor over the coming week. Her positive test comes just days before all COVID-19 restrictions are expected to be lifted. Boris says the time has come to live with COVID and it's a new era of personal responsibility rather than mandatory isolation.
We've reached a stage where we think you can shift the balance away from state mandation, away from banning certain courses of action, compelling certain courses of action.
Labour Shadow Health Secretary Wes Streeting was doubting Boris's motivation in removing all restrictions at a time when the pandemic is clearly still ongoing.
Well, I think Boris Johnson is trying to declare victory because he wants headlines to be about victory over COVID rather than police knocking on the door of number 10. It seems to be more about political priorities rather than public health interests.
Tension over Ukraine continued to ramp up across the weekend with a NATO security conference in Munich that heard from US Vice President Kamala Harris and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. There does appear to be a breakthrough as diplomatic efforts by French President Emmanuel Macron have led US President Joe Biden to agree in principle to a summit with Vladimir Putin, but only if Russia doesn't invade. US intelligence indicated that they expected an invasion to occur at any moment. The US Embassy in Moscow has warned US citizens to leave Russia, and Boris was warning that this could be a war on multiple fronts and a grand scale.
I'm afraid to say that the plan that we're seeing is for something that could be really the biggest war in Europe since 1945, in terms of sheer scale. I think people need to understand the sheer cost in human life that could entail. That was the point that I was trying to make earlier on in my speech today.
But despite increased shelling on the eastern border, which killed Ukrainian soldiers over the weekend, Russia continues to deny any plan for invasion. Deputy Russian Ambassador to the UN, Dmitry Polyansky, says he doesn't understand where the stories of troop numbers are coming from.
Who counted them? Where do you take this figure 150,000? I remember it was 100,000, then it was 120,000, now it is 150,000. I admit inflation is very high here in New York.
I think it's inflation demonstrated by satellite pictures, which we have seen.
In the rush of other news, the Tory party scandal hasn't gone away. Friday evening was the deadline for Boris and the other Downing Street party crew members to return their questionnaire to the Met Police. And the BBC's Sophie Rayworth really wanted to know what Boris will do if he's found to have broken the law. But he just refused to respond.
If you are found to have broken your own rules,
I understand.
Will you stay in your job?
Any answer would be interpreted as a point of commentary about the process.
It's a matter of principle, surely. It's not a point of commentary.
You must forgive me. I can't comment about a process that's currently underway, and I won't.
The Beijing Winter Olympics wrapped up on Saturday, bringing to an end a slightly disappointing event, marred by overzealous Chinese security and a drug test scandal involving young Russian skater Kamila Valieva. There was some good news for Team GB as the men's curling team won silver and Eve Muirhead led the women's team to gold as their families watched on.
The last 2 or 3 years has been a bit of a nightmare and all the rest of it, but this is the icing on the cake. There's no doubt about that, so yeah. Words can't describe my feelings.
It was Team GB's only gold from the Games and a medal they had to fight hard to win.
It's a moment like I've dreamt for so many years. That was my third semi-final. The 2 that I lost were hard. I got the shoes back on and here we are, like what a 5 we are, and it's such a special moment.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Amir Khan loses with grace and we pay tribute to Jamal Edwards. Right after this. Welcome back.
It was a busy weekend of Premier League action, with Spurs surprising leaders Man City with a 3-2 victory at the Emirates, while Man United had a battling 4-2 win at Leeds. British boxing took centre stage on Saturday night as Amir Khan and Kell Brook finally faced off to settle one of the most bitter and long-running feuds in British boxing. Brooke was the winner on the night, but Khan took the defeat well and after the match reflected on his long career.
I'm 35 now. I've been in the game a very long time. I'm an old man now. I want to spend time with my kids and my family. You know. I want to enjoy the money, man. I mean, I never enjoy myself. Honestly, look, the paycheck, we're making the paychecks, but I want to make sure that I enjoy that.
The House of Gucci may have missed out on Oscar nominations, it picked up just one, but it's more than made up for that with multiple BAFTA, Golden Globe and Screen Actor Guild Award nominations, including for Best Picture. As the movie drops on streaming services and DVD today, screenwriter Roberto Bentivegna sat down to chat to the Smile 7 about what it was like working with legendary director Ridley Scott.
It was surreal. It was amazing. It's my first movie, so I'd written so many screenplays that had not been produced, and to finally see your words come to life and all these details that I had written. And then also getting to know one of my heroes, you know. I mean, I grew up with Blade Runner and Alien, and for me to meet that guy was like, you know, it's a big moment.
The death has been announced of Jamal Edwards MBE. He was a music entrepreneur and YouTube star who created the music channel SBTV. He helped to launch the career of acts like Dave, Ed Sheeran, Skepta and Lady LeSure. He was an ambassador for the Prince's Trust and worked hard to give a platform to new talent. There were tributes from all corners of the UK as London Mayor Sadiq Khan said British music and entertainment had lost one of its brightest stars. Jamal was just 31 and started out as a teenager filming his mates with a video camera his parents gave him for Christmas. He appeared on Loose Women last year with his mum Brenda Edwards to talk about his work and success. Rest in peace, mate.
I feel like, I've done a lot, but there's a lot more that I can do. And I feel like the people that I'm surrounded by, like, they always help me, and it's not always down to me, it's the team that I have as well. So I feel like when I get to certain places, I'm able to like knock the doors down and hopefully bring people through. And that's what my main focus is, like, for SB and just in general.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.